Let's go. And this is the Underground World News Live here on this St. Patrick's Day 2025 live. What's going on, everybody? Get me some mic checks out there real quick. Just make sure everything's sounding good before we get this thing rolling. South Carolina in the house. Much love, Kenny. I appreciate all the support. I appreciate you out there standing the ground out in social media and fighting a good fight, having my back, sharing links and all that good stuff. Bones with us. The Judge with us. Good to see you. Quantum, thank you for the feedback. Much love. Deanne, love as always. D. White, brother. Hoodie Ross. Everybody out there, hope everything's good. Walk with God with us tonight. Geo, Delta. Thank you for all the feedback, everyone. Minx. Stealth. Peace and Grace. Boxer Mom. Money Mike. Boomer Montana. Everybody checking in from all across the globe, man. It's good to see people checking in from all around the world, man. Just even though we're censored, lets me know that we can still reach people far away that otherwise I'd never, ever reach. Paul, thank you for that 5-month membership. Love you right back. Tennessee in the house. I hope everybody's doing good. We had a lot of bad weather roll through here recently, and it ripped us. Gonna dive into that. Your lifestyle elevated. Thank you for sharing the link out there as well. Get over here to the main screen. That was a beautiful shot somebody had shared today for St. Patrick's Day. I thought it was a good one to open up with. I like the vivid color and all those shots, sunset shots and things like that. Now, I'm going to kick this thing off here, and unfortunately, I got to report on at least 40 people that have died after this storm came through. I warned you about it on the last stream. My last words were to be safe, because this one here, it was a weapon. When I tell you these things are going to be weapons, you should prepare, because it's that. It's not normal. The wind that came through, super destructive. It was knocking over semis that were just stopped down in Texas and up into Oklahoma. But then when that same storm system moved, you could see the tornadoes really spun up east of there, east of where you're used to seeing them. Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas. Instead, it really hit the Mississippi corridor. We were warning about Alabama. I was tweeting out stuff. I follow, I believe it's James Spann. He's out of Alabama, good weather guy. And he was just posting left and right, like, look, man, this is going to be bad. And look, every little dot you see here is a tornado. Okay, tornado sightings across the South and Midwest. And you're talking from Indiana and Illinois. Just, I don't see how Kentucky didn't get hit, or the western side, because it's so flat over there. Thank you, Quantum. I appreciate that. Much love. But Missouri, getting hit pretty hard. Arkansas, the Ozarks area, right outside there. Up in Mississippi. Just two direct lines where these tornadoes were just dropping down for a long ways. But we had like a record-breaking long-track tornado here this past year in Kentucky. It touched down. It was on the ground for a minute. It was devastating. Once you get to like the middle of Kentucky, like I-75 runs up through there, east of that, you get into the mountains. And of course, down Tennessee, you got the Smoky Mountains and all that. So you got the Appalachian Mountains. Huge buffer there that breaks up a lot of the storm systems. If you do see a tornado, thank you, Julie. If you do see one, it's likely to skip off the top of mountains. We've had that happen around us. But they're hard to get you if you're down in between the peaks in the mountains. Just be safe out there, man. This weather was bad. As I said, 40 lives. Hundreds of buildings in different structures were leveled. I seen a clip. You see, if I don't know if it's here. I believe it was Mississippi. It was an aerial shot of the devastation of this wide tornado that went through there. It was just, it looked like a hurricane. It just wiped the place off. You see little toothpicks sticking up, what was left of the trees that were standing. But all the rest stripped away. I'm going to play this clip right here. This is out of Diaz, Arkansas. Some of you guys out there might know people that were affected by this big time. I know I was. We took over $2,000 worth of damage easy here. And stuff that I still don't even have paid off. Solar panels got wrecked. One looks like an axe went right through it. It's clear through it. Wrecked all that. Yeah, it was bad, man. It was the worst wind I've seen yet in the past few years. And look at this. This is a drone taking off. It is getting shots. I think that right there is probably going to pan out to be the best. Right there, we can, man, just look at everything mangled, man. I feel for anyone that lost in this. This is horrible. I mean, look at that. That's a foundation. And there's another one right there. There's nothing around. There's nothing around. There's not a house sitting there. Like these things have been blown away. Every limb off the tree, stripped. It's just crazy. They pulled that trailer in back here in the background afterwards. So you know. You can see this house took mega destruction. But it's still standing. And thank you, someone, for the coffee. I appreciate that. Let me keep the footage going here so you can see. The drone really gets everything. I've got to find a way to get mine fixed. Mine took a crash at the conference. We were up at a graveyard shooting music video that we had dropped in. It crashed on me. So I've got to get it replaced. But you can see what a drone can do. You can swoop in. You can get all of it. Look, the whole roof gone. Everything. I mean, just massive destruction, man. Again, I know people in Mississippi are reeling hard. All these areas that were hit, Arkansas. This is just some of the damage. Just what one person could get out there and cover with the drone. Areas right down the road are not going to be hit because that's how tornadoes work. You know what I'm saying? If you're in the track of it, though, watch out. And we're just getting started with this year. So the damage here, widespread across the Midwest, and the ones that were coming in after dark, they got to be the scariest. I mean, this was an EF4 that had hit in Diaz, 190 mile an hour winds. The debris from that will go right through you. And it's like trailers or anything like that, they're just going to be blown away easy. Even standing wood frame homes and everything else. You saw the other foundations, man, were just stripped. There was nothing. Didn't even look like a house was even there. I mean, it's a weapon. I'm telling you, it's a weapon. This line, and when they first started talking about it, I could just feel it. I could see it. I could feel it, the way they were pushing, what they were warning about. This, obviously, the aftermath of it. Man, I'm telling you what, man. This one was bad. This is the worst one yet that I'd seen. Just pick stuff up and toss it like it's nothing. I'm talking things that were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds. Full racks of solar panels. Tossed and flipped this. Like, that was just a mind. I seen it. I felt it. I mean, it was damn near like a tornado. Pretty much. And it was like you never knew when it was going to strike. The wind, when it came in like it. You just never knew. Like, they could be calling for 15 mile an hour winds, but dude, 50 mile an hour gusts that were getting even higher were crazy. Johnny, thank you for the coffees. I appreciate it to the fullest. Ruth, thank you for the coffees. Appreciate it to the fullest. Turn it down some until we get some more audio rolling. Rest in peace to all the people that lose their lives in this. I believe that this is weather warfare. Doesn't matter the administration, this stuff always goes on, always continues. There's always agendas behind it. Luckily, if you're going to try to find any silver lining out of this, there wasn't a devastating, massive fire that they're reporting on that consumed everything, because the stage was set for that. Dry conditions in all those areas. It was crazy, is all the rain that they had even said was going to drop here. And it came down hard for a spurt. But then it was nothing. It was nothing. Looked at the water collection. There was nothing. I was like, what the? It was nothing but like wind, man. Strong wind that I felt was engineered and pushed all the way across the country. So, I know most of you guys out there felt it, but heads up, man. I don't think it's going to be over with. I'm going to keep it pushing here. This is out of Pittsburgh. We've got a porch collapse. These people are really lucky, especially the guys below. Everybody that was below is super lucky they're not dead. Because people have died from this same exact incident right here many times. They just get crushed. Fortunately, no one was killed in this incident, and this thing gave way slowly. But I'm going to play a clip here of what happened here at this little party. What's going on? Went down that quick. That was like the best angle right there. They caught it. Here, it slowed down right here. Oh man, you can see some of the people underneath.
So there was like 22 people on the roof up there, and then suddenly I was standing like right over there, just came down. Luckily it leaned down kind of slowly, but there were people on the roof, people below it, and apparently some of our friends have some injuries, and I hope everyone's okay. There's girls that live there, and some other people that live there. Some of these, I mean, these are just student apartments. There's some fraternity people there and there, but I live here. But like I said, I was just here. I watched it happen. It was very scary. People on and below the roof came down. I'm luckily, like, there are some injuries. Like, these are just word of mouth rumors. There's some injuries. Nothing major, but I'm just glad there's no major injuries apparently.
And people on like that, like porch area.
Yeah, so there's 3 steps. There's like a porch area there, and then the roof was above it. There were people on that porch area, people right below it on the concrete, and then people on the roof, and then it all came down. And I'm assuming that there's just tons of injuries.
So again, long time ago, I was in New Orleans. Thank you, Johnny Boy, being part of the underground. And we see south of Jackson, Tennessee, got 7 inches of rain last Saturday, washed out a lot of roads. Yeah, it's abnormal. It's a weapon, my brother. But a long time ago, I was down in New Orleans. Only time I've ever been there. Let me turn that back down. And thank you for the coffees there, someone. Pittsburgh Pete in the house. That's your neck of the woods right here, brother. But I was in New Orleans, down there for a Mardi Gras thing. Drove down there with a buddy, Swass. He drove his truck, and it was like, we going or not? This is all my buddies. I was just like, what the? So they drove down. Remember, I fell asleep in shotgun, woke up, and like, they're like, we're coming to New Orleans. Went down to New Orleans and like couldn't find anywhere to stay, so he just pulls up on the side of this road, finds a place to park, and we take off walking, and we get down to the heart right there of the hood, and we bump into a couple guys. People were cool. They told us where to go to get down to the main heart of stuff. We get down to the main heart of stuff. We get right to the Strip of New Orleans. I'll never forget it, and it was packed. I couldn't help but feel like this presence. There was like this in the air. I couldn't explain it at the time. Maybe it was like spiritual force I was feeling. I don't know, but they were like, "There's Snoop," and Snoop walked out of this one place and then walked into another. So we headed over there, went in there to see if we could see Snoop, and we seen that he was inside. I couldn't get nowhere near him. We walked back out the door, and as soon as we walked back out the door, a whole balcony like this gave way. As soon as we walked out, it gave way just like that. Kind of the same outcome. People got crushed below, but no one got killed. No one got super hurt. It was just wild. So that's what that reminds me of. Got to be smart out there, man. It can't be. People don't think about these things, though, when they're out there partying, right? I do not think so. And Chris Florio, my brother. We could see what you got here on the super chat. Not sure what the implications will be for metals on COMEX. Delistings of gold kilo futures on London Spot Gold Futures Exchange. Yes, that's true. I'm getting to that here. Well, as you just said, we might as well report on it now. The gold futures and all this, COMEX announced that all the stuff was ending. And like some people are like, what do you mean? Like, how is this possible? And there's some weird stuff happening. Something huge is about to happen. I've been warning you forever, but, only because I have to, like, I have to tell you these things. What comes every day, all the little things that pop up, we've got to keep it on the radar. We got to talk about it. Can't ignore it, or it will sneak up on you and catch you by surprise. Well, like, I'm telling you, it's like an any day now type of thing. There's going to be a big event, and it's going to be designed to catch the people slipping. And this whole gold thing that you're witnessing, this whole silver thing, I mean, they're going through the roof. There's a reason a bunch of states decided to do away with the taxes on gold and silver. It is their last-ditch attempt to save the economies inside their state and their people, and have a way for them to barter and to be able to trade and all that good stuff when this event happens. Okay? Because no other time in history up to this point had anybody cared about anything, but they seem, like my state especially, I know some people know something. What they've done here, making that move, not allowing anyone to support the feds if they come in here, which was huge. Meaning if the feds come into my state, they're on their own, which is absolutely huge. Then they gave everybody constitutional carry. Said, the heck with having a permit. Everybody's got a right to carry. It's like, what? They're like, they're getting everybody ready here for something. Do you understand me? That's just the moves my state's made, and it's clear. Whether the people realize it or not. I report on the stuff, so I keep track of all this, and I know it. Something's going on. And they've made the moves here to make sure that the people are armed up without creating panic and in a position to where if feds come in here, they're on their own. It's pretty huge. National Guard can't help them. Police can't help them. No one else can help them. Right? They can't come in here and Waco nobody. Because my state has been screwed over by the federal government for far too long. My state was one of the states that was big on coal, and then they took it away and said, you can't do it, just to cripple us, just to cripple coal country, just to cripple. No other reason, because they still sell coal. They sell it in record amounts to China. It's ridiculous. It's something that we should still be able to sell full scale, but it's a God-given natural resource, and they don't like that. They don't like the fact that you got that. That helps you fight back. And stops their control mechanism. As I said before, to find a piece of land that has all those resources is critical if you're looking to go off-grid. Let's jump into, this is almost like a repeat right here. We've got another bankruptcy. It is a repeat. Forever 21, obviously not forever, filing for bankruptcy a second time. And they're going to have a huge liquidation sale. So for anyone out there that wants to get some things for cheap, usually these liquidation sales are good. For at least that. But you got to get it while they get this good, because the good stuff goes quick. Besant comes out and gives a statement on the markets. He says that all this dumping that just took place this past week, people were freaking out. They're freaking out when the market, starts to dump 1,000 points, and then another 500, and then the 401ks are tanking. And they're basically saying that corrections are healthy, and that's true. Corrections are healthy, but we're in a bubble. It's about to pop big time. We all know it. They're talking recession. I was wondering how long they're going to keep that thing, at bay, kicking the can down the road, so to speak. Well, it's here. I think it's obvious we're in recession. Let's just hope that after this big event that we're not in a depression, because that seems to be where they're steering this. That affects the globe too, not just us. So check this out. Connecticut is now the wealthiest state in America. It's not California any longer. Connecticut, $920K. The average net worth for each person in that state. So California is booming as it's been. I guess with people fleeing and going to other places, like we saw with Elon and Rogan and others. It's kind of shifted things up, but Connecticut taking the top spot. Now, I've got Musk here on video talking about these magic money computers. And it's like, what? What are you talking about? He's saying that they've discovered 14 of them. And basically he says that the funds are just getting sent out automatically by these things, like getting made, just distributed. They can make money out of thin air. And that's what he's calling magic money. And he's trying to explain this to Ted Cruz in all this. And it's saying that it just issues payments. It's like, where is it pulling the money from? Like, he doesn't answer all these questions, but he says that they found 14 of these things. They send money out of nothing. Here, I'm going to play the clip so you can hear what he says. But it's like, hold on. What do you mean, 14 magic money printers? Like, this sounds like a lot of, this is where a bunch of dead ends are going to lead right here. Like, magic money printers. Like, how much stuff could have been washed? How much laundering could have went on with this? How much out of thin air with no trace could you have funded things? Black ops and all this without showing any proof, any serialization, because all dollars out there are all tracked, period. I don't know. It's just kind of crazy to think, like, how is this happening? But again, we'll play the clip.
One of the things you told me about is what you call
insane.
magic money computers at the Treasury.
So
tell us about it, because I never heard of that until you brought that up.
Okay, so you may think that that the government computers like all talk to each other, they synchronize, they add up what funds are going somewhere, and it's it's coherent. There's and that the numbers, for example, that you're presented as a senator, are actually the real numbers.
One would think.
One would think. They're not.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, they're not totally wrong, but they're probably off by 5% or 10% in some cases. So I call a magic money computer any computer which can just make money out of thin air. That's magic money.
So how does that work?
It just issues payments.
And you said there's something like 11 of these computers at Treasury that are sending out trillions in payments?
They're mostly at Treasury. Some are, but there's some at HHS, there's one or two at State, there's some at DOD. I think we found now 14 magic money computers.
14, okay.
They just send money out of nothing.
One of the things
Out of nothing. Now, I have a hard time swallowing this. Okay? There's something wrong with this. Okay? Like, the whole Spidey sense thing vibe here is just going through the roof. And you know as well as I do that money has to come from somewhere. Has to come from somewhere. Has to be issued from somewhere. Has to be a valid exchange, especially from one bank to another. He doesn't go into any detail. It sounds highly suspicious here because it just doesn't make sense at all. Like, no bank is going to issue any money, legitimate money, for nothing. What are they sending them? A note saying, give me all your money? Or like this is the government? Like, I don't get it. Like, unlimited amounts of money made out of thin air, it would have to be connected to a treasury somehow. It would have to be. Or one would think tied into the Federal Reserve. Now, that's what needs to happen, and you're never going to hear it, is they need to go in and do something about the Federal Reserve, because they're not even part of the federal government. They're a private entity that controls all these businesses, these federal banks, Federal Reserves, that issue the money to all the other banks. You see, so it's a conglomerate. That brings me to this next one. Are we entering the Roaring '20s or Great Depression 2.0? It could be made to look like both. Looking like the Roaring '20s here as Trump comes in or something. I don't know. Like, that's the hopes and the dreams of it. But the reality is like, when this bubble pops, Great Depression 2.0 is going to set in. As people start to figure out that the tariffs are basically against them, it isn't going to be good. This has been a huge magic trick on the people. It's the only way that I know how to put it. It has been. Where they don't even understand what's going on. Because if they did, they'd be revolting. They'd be saying something. The fact that they're not saying nothing, just, it's all madness at this point. I don't know where this is going to go, but I do see a massive economic event, and it's going to shock everyone. I told you what to expect. That the stock market's going to tank, and all your 401ks that are tied to it are going to go to zero, and the big dogs are going to take it. And that's the end of story. We've talked about this a million times. They're looking to set up blockchain as the answer. And it doesn't matter. And here we go again. Black magic again. He signed an executive order for a CBDC because that's what the Trumpers were barking about. And then turned around with the other hand and gave them the Trump coin on blockchain. Right? Gave them blockchain and turned around and said, we're going to be the blockchain capital of the world, all in one swoop, before they could even figure out what's going on. I still don't think they've got to figure it out. It's insane. It's insanity. So everything that they were against, they accepted. And I don't hear anyone saying anything about it. It's absolutely ridiculous. I said it before. I'm about to fully cut ties with the individuals out here that are pushing this. Because now you're pushing the problem. Silver Rambler, much love. It was one thing to say, and I gave you all that. It was one thing to say, okay, we got to vote Trump because Trump is better than Biden. Okay, yeah, we all knew that. Cash, insane. Thank you for the coffees and the support, is all I can say. And Silver Rambler, they're like, man, much love. I appreciate all that. Look, I've been saying since 2017, they're trying to get you on the Beast blockchain. All right? Now, I'm going to paint the picture here as clear as I can to sum it up. The Beast blockchain is almost like an octopus. All right? It's got tentacles that go out all across the globe, and there's one main central hub, the brain, in the middle. Okay? Understand this. Because when you have blockchains, it doesn't matter what you call it. It doesn't matter what the name is. You can have blockchains and ledgers that all tie in like tentacles off an octopus to one main hub. And that is what I've always seen, and I've called in my mind the Beast. And the best way to paint it is it's like the Wizard of Oz, literally. The wizard that they show you, it's going to be something like that. It's the best way that I can describe it. It's an artificial intelligence, a consciousness. What did Elon say himself? He said that they were trying to summons the demon. He freaking said it. Okay, so they're trying to get everybody on the system. All right, let's not lose sight of that. Sevenfold, thank you. there's an event that's about to happen that's going to usher everybody into this system or a chain of events, okay? And it has to do with your money 100%. So it has to do with the banks 100%. And it has to do with clamping down or having an answer for an issue in that sector 100%. Has to. So we've got that much figured out. It's rather obvious, okay? For anyone paying attention, not for people running around blind. Lakeville, thank you for the memberships. Welcome to the underground, everyone. Look at this. Russia using Bitcoin and USDT for oil trades with China and India. Interesting. So they're trying to show here that this is basically this promotion of it right here. They're trying to say, look, even Russia and China can sit here and skirt us and we can't do nothing about it. And they're doing so using crypto. That's what they're presenting this as this whole time. When they made it, the world would have never accepted this the same if the U.S. government came out and said, oh, look at this. It was never, because it was all pushed on anonymity. All the cryptography in all this, in being opposite of the government. It was supposed to give you the freedom of sending stuff anonymously and all this and out of the hands of the government. That was the whole idea of it. And that was what sparked everything and got everybody into it. You know, this still pushed the idea. So the thing is they created it. It was made on a hash that was created by the NSA. That's right. Go look it up. Get into your brain. It was made on a hash that was designed by the NSA. And that's Satoshi. Okay? Plain and simple. The whole thing was to get the whole world warmed up to this. And they've done so. You know, there's good things that can be done here in blockchain. It's a double-edged sword. It really is. It's a newer technology that can do a lot of things. Now, I'm going to also tell you this. Everything's moving so fast, and they're already predicting it. Quantum computers, and I believe it's already here. I believe they already have this stuff, and they're just waiting to roll it out. Just like they sit on technology all the time, for decades. They're so far advanced in front of us, and you know this. So we're at this point where they're rolling out cryptography. The whole point here is to get everybody on blockchain, where it's all trackable and traceable around the world. Every transaction and everything. That's the dream. That's their goal. Is that right there. Okay? That's a rather lofty goal that I don't think they're ever going to achieve. Because there's always going to be breakaway pockets that say no to this. They tried the whole CBDC thing in large portions of Africa, and I'll give the people there that, the Naira and all that, they ejected it. Rejected it, ejected it, and said, we're not doing it. They snuffed it out. They're like, we see exactly what you're doing. You know, you're just wanting to tax us more on all of our transactions. On transactions that otherwise they're not getting taxed on because the government doesn't know about them. Which is ridiculous. But something else is at play here. There's a whole reset happening. Trump has set this in the open. Just remember these things. He said it. It's underway. It's in motion. There's going to be some huge events that take place. And when people can't use the money in their banks, the answer is going to be for this digital currency. It's a digital dollar. Just download it. It will be accepted everywhere. You watch. It's that simple and easy. It's that simple and easy. And they are the heroes. And they get everything they want. And the people will do it blindly. And just, you know how many apps people download every day and don't even think about it twice? They will do this in a heartbeat. Oh, I can get my money here. All I got to do is download this app and get on here and download the app. They won't even think about it. They'll just think they're downloading another app and the government came to the rescue and they can still spend their money. It's all they're going to care about. It's all they're going to care about. I'm warning you. And this is how the whole herd gets transferred onto this new system. You watch. You remember me calling this. Now, I don't call things out this boldly, but I'm going to tell you, it's the only way it can happen. And when it does, it's going to be a rocker. You understand me? I've warned you, and I've warned you, and I've warned you. The whole thing is to get everyone onto this beast blockchain, as I've called it since 2017. It doesn't matter if it's the ruble, DT, the yuan, or whatever. They're all coming down these avenues. In Europe, as I showed you last time, they're at a point where they're like, we need a CBDC now. They're just going to ram it down the throats of everyone like they need it to come to the rescue. And who are they blaming? They're blaming Trump for pushing all this crypto stuff, saying that they have no choice. It has to happen now. Because if they don't do something, they're saying they're going to get left behind. And their answer, a CBDC. This cold, like dictator style, like right down your throat. That's how they're serving the people in Europe, which is garbage. They're trying to roost everybody over here with black magic, which they did. I done told you. I say it a million times. He wrote an executive order, literally. He did on a CBDC against it, saying, I'll never do it, and turn around with the other hand and give him the blockchain. It's insane. It's insanity is what that is. It's nuts that he did it, and everyone's just standing there like, Like, I've never seen so much black magic turn people into stupid so quick. It's either that or they're refusing to say anything. They're scared to say anything, to go against the crowd. Or say, I don't know. I don't get it. Like, all these things are popping off that you should be questioning. And people are losing all their integrity. Everything, anything that they ever stood for. Again, I've got to cut ties with, like, I gave people a chance, man. Again, it was Trump or Biden, Hillary, or Kamala and all this crap. I get that. We get it. And it was a trap. Apparently you didn't get that. You didn't see that. We didn't vote for none of it. But you voted for Trump, went all in, and that's the basket you chose. Now you got to keep him honest. You got to keep him honest, man. You have to. You have to question. You have to see it from that angle. You have to keep him honest. You can just fall in love with the feds. Because that's what they did. They gave you an all-star team of likable faces in every position. And some of us, like me, we see crystal clear what they're doing. And they worked. They fooled the crowd. They've got them fooled for the most part. That's the scary part. That's why we do what we do. Fighting a fight here. Trying to wake everybody up to the truth of it. Sad thing is they're going to do this. They're going to do this. I don't have a bullhorn loud enough. They censor me so bad. If you can't tell in every stream, they eliminate hundreds of people constantly during the stream, knocking it back. We'll never reach millions at that rate. Look, millions of people are going to go down this path, and you're going to witness it all around you. We called it. You know what's crazy is when this big thing happens, it may not even ever be, it could be like a little blip on the radar. It could be one of the biggest events in history, transferring over to digital currency, and a majority of the people next week won't even think about it because it was solved so quick. Because they were just told to download an app and there was the answer. But then it's all that's on blockchain at that point. And that's what they fail to realize with their short minds, small minds. I don't get it. And I just don't get none of it. It's either stupidity or they're just turning a blind cheek. So we could say both, but like something's got to give, man. Something's got to give with this stuff. These are going to be all the same people that just easily gobble up that mark. These are all the same people that are easily going to take that mark. You understand that? Tell them about their fruits. Yeah. All right. We've got the situation here. I gotta play this clip. I'm gonna keep it pushing. Got a lot to cover here. If you guys missed it, there's these girls running track, and this one girl pulls out a baton and crushes it into the back of this other girl's head. Ridiculous. And then lets her arms swing in the air, and it's pathetic. She then goes on crying on camera trying to play the victim, and the NAACP is supporting this crap. She's caught on film. She clubbed a girl that was beating her in the back of the head with the baton. Almost like fractured her skull. And this is sickening to see them back this and this girl play victim and all this, but that's what's happening here. Oh, man, I'm telling you, she was just about to do it a couple times. She looked like she was going to keep beating on her with it. Like that. So this girl that did it this is the girl that did it. You'd think it's the girl that got split, but no, this is the girl that did it.
Just a person by myself. Nobody's going to believe me because I can admit from the video it does look purposeful, but I know my intentions and I would never hit somebody on purpose.
Lying ass fool. Split that girl in the back of the dome and even drew back, and she could have smacked cocked like bam 2 more times. And they're gonna lie about it. And then this is all a shameful thing, man. I hope the girl that got hit is doing okay. This is ridiculous. This girl should get ejected from the sport, banned. Never to. She should get charged with wouldn't anyone else, if you used a weapon, if you picked up a weapon and used it on someone for no reason, you'd be charged. That's what that is. She did that intentionally. I don't care what she's saying. Everybody knows it. And she's a liar. She needs a Brit. She needs hit by the judge. For real. She needs that's a crime right there, man. Straight up. NAACP gonna back her up. Backing up criminals like that. That's all caught on camera. It's all caught on camera. Like, yeah, it's straight up assault. Yeah, she is being charged. That's right. Okay. Well, assault with a deadly weapon. Felony assault. Look at everybody. I'm just peeking over at the headlines here, or the chat. Yeah. Much love. Everybody out there. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. Gonna keep it pushing. Now, you know how I feel about RFK Jr. He's a piece of work. I don't care for him because we know who these characters really are. If you're someone that sits on the outside and looks at them like they're some movie stars, and you love the way they look and the way they talk, or they dress and act, or what they represent his names, he's a Kennedy. And just for that simple fact, you're gonna love somebody. Like, man, you've got a lot to learn. They're going to fool you all day, every day. And that's what they've done, building this whole all-star team like this. And he's one of the characters that filled this position. And I'm going to say this, he has to come through on some key things. He just has to. And when he does do things, I'll give him his props. We do. I'll give him props, just like Trump. When they do good things, when they do bad things, you got to call them out. That's called being honest and real about it. So, I got to agree with this one. He's warning against vaccinating chickens for bird flu. And I almost think it's an ominous type of warning. Hidden in plain sight. If you can decipher it and see it. He's openly warning about doing this. That way he can later say, look, I told you, this is not a good idea. This kind of plants the seed. Now, see, I know how they do these things. Just plants the seed, man. Like, this is how it can enter the supply. That actually they could do it. By some kind of concoction that's put into it. Do you see? So then they put into them. That's right. They put that's what he's warning them. You put a vaccine, you put a live vaccine in these chickens that can spread. You can create the freaking nightmare. And that's what they're talking about doing. Creating the nightmare. I'm telling you, this is on the table. It's a card that I want off. I don't think it ever will be. It's the scariest. It's the deadliest. I want to damn near say I'll take an EMP over this. Because the bodies will drop this time. They'll drop like you've never seen. Stacked up. Like you've never seen. It'd be this generation's like Great Depression, World War II type of moment, or whatever. Like, well, the downfall of America. It'll usher that in. We'll never go away, but they're removing us from being a world power. So this could be a multipolar. So there's a new world order, so to speak, but it's going to be ran by one individual. If you haven't heard, if you haven't figured this out yet, the guys that control Trump and J.D. Vance, who wear the black hats out of Israel and all that, they got a plan and they got a Messiah. His name isn't Jesus, okay? And he's sitting there in Israel right now, okay? I don't know if you've been sleeping on all this or what, right? They call him the Yanuka, the Torah genius. He's performed miracles. Something that Trump has not done, has not got anything like that attributed to him doing, because that's not what he is or anything. He's the Gentile Messiah, okay? I've explained this several times, but you've got to understand what the people trying to control this whole thing believe in and where they're taking it. They're going to have their Messiah sit in this new temple, and it's going to go down here on Trump's tenure without a shadow of doubt, which means the Temple Mount's going to be cleared, which means the other temple's going to be built fully, and this man is going to sit in the seat in the temple, just as prophesied, just as they want, and Trump is going to deliver America into his hands, basically, under a whole new global leadership. That's the rabbis say it. It's on video. This is what they believe. This is where it's going. You've been living under a rock. Okay, I've played the clips. I've showed it all. It's very clear. This is where it's going, okay? And, it blows my mind how they can sit there and they can point a finger at anybody and talk about violence and hate when some of their religion calls for killing Christians and killing us. Yet no one wants to say a word about it. Like, you better get out. Like, I don't think so. You just sit there and say you're going to murder us? Like, it's nuts. But this is what some people think out there. And look, these plots and plans are done by the hand, without a doubt. I feel like everything before was just a test for this big event. It scares me, all right? Because I've had terrible visions. It's caused me to drop everything I was doing in life and prepare, because I seen how serious it was. If they were willing to lock down the whole planet, lock down every house around the whole planet, and then do everything that they did. We see that there wasn't bodies stacked up. I was having visions of incinerators coming down the streets and picking up people to burn them. It's that bad. And obviously, guys, people at gunpoint, you have to prove that you're not tainted, so to speak. You have to show the mark that you took inoculation. None of that happened this last time. It's all prepped for it. That Bill Gates 666 jabby was never used and never rolled out. It's coming on this next one. When this next one hits, it's over, as far as I can see. The world as you ever knew, life around the world will be over, as far as I can see. That's why I say I'd rather see an EMP. People can band together. Odds are better for survival. But in this one, you won't want to be nowhere around people. Straight up, it's going to be pockets. People are going to starve out. It's going to be bad, man, and a real one. You could say it's a wild conspiracy. Is it really? Is it really? Did this lock down the whole freaking planet for how long? You want to say something stupid like that? Really? How short-sighted are you? Small-minded are you? How stupid are you? When they clearly just put us all through a huge beta. To call anything other than that is denial. And I guess some people are just going to find out the hard way. When I see headlines like that, all that comes to the forefront. I swear to you, I take it all before that. Anything else besides that event. I hope it never gets played in my lifetime. I pray to God that we have the power to push it back. I've prayed this before, and crazy enough, they call 2025 right now to be the year that it was going to happen. Bill Gates did. He came out right at the beginning of the year, gave us an update. What'd he say? He says, oh, no, it's like it's been pushed back. He said, but it's going to happen within the next 4 years. It's going to happen on Trump's watch. Again, it's basically what he said. And gave us a little smirk. So it's like, I felt like we bought some time. Somehow, some way. We did. And we pushed it back some. We have that power. I hope you know that. You have a power. We have a power. You can never forget that. You have the power when you awaken people. That's why I fight the fight. It's why I do what I do to awaken people. Because once the whole crowd's awakened, it's over. Curtain drops. No, the black magic no longer works. And that's what we're here to break. In the name of the Holy Spirit, in the name of Yeshua, Jesus, the Most High Godhead, we fight the good fight against these demons. All right. The approval odds for the Dems drop 20 points since the last time. This isn't too surprising here as I dive into some of these politics because people are just sick of it. I think a lot more people, at least the open-minded people, they see this. They're open-minded enough to see that this is a left-right paradigm. You have to see what they've done here. Again, it all goes back to the magic thing. At some point, you're going to have to see this. They fooled the whole crowd into getting behind Trump. And the one way to do it was to stack it up against something like Biden or Kamala that was just appalling. And they did so. It was an easy trick. And they did it. If you're intelligent enough, is how I see it, you see beyond that. You see it for what it is. I think the solution is starting to fall apart. That's why they're going to put a pretty tight grip on keeping Trump in power here. They've got a whole thing where if they can keep him in for 4 more years, they're pushing a bill right now. If they can get him in 4 more years after this, he'll do it. But that's before he said, no, this was it. But now he's saying, no, if they change everything to where I could run 8 straight, he'd run the whole thing. And they're serious about this because they believe that a president should have a chance at an 8-year tenure to achieve all their goals and all their stuff, blah, blah, blah. They're doing crazy stuff. Maybe you guys missed this one here. Trump gets popped in the face with a mic. It's a short clip. We'll play it. Kind of comical. He didn't really get hit hard, even though I think he had to. He said something about it. It looks like the person that did it was a far left, as they put it, media person. And why would they have someone like that even around Trump with an object that they could even hit him in the face with? How much of this is staged? How much? I don't know. Here we go.
Mr. President, obviously you're concerned. You're concerned about Gaza, Mr. President. Obviously you're concerned. You're concerned about the situation in Gaza. What are the hopes now to get the hostages back?
She just became a big story tonight, right? Yes, sir. Did you see that?
He stuck his tongue down on his cheek where she kind of touched him. I don't know. To get that close to the president, and like get him in the face like that. I'm sure the other side is talking that one up like, yeah, she got him. She's gonna say it was an accident. Now, let's dive into this whole auto pin thing with some updates. Trump has declared that this whole auto pin thing is void and no good. It's invalid. Okay? they're saying that they have all the proof in the world that all kinds of auto pen was used, and it was used in the wrong way. It's one thing to use an auto pen, but like for the big stuff, it's not to be used. And for like pardons and stuff like that on criminals and things, when Biden was not even there, it was proven he was at the golf course. Well, we got some huge developments here. This means that the entire Biden crime family that was pardoned, every single person that was pardoned that they tried to protect, it's no good. Okay? This is Trump's view. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you that he doesn't have the last say in this. He even admits that it's probably going to have to go to the judges. And they're going to have to determine this. So you come down to Amy Coney Barrett, and someone that he put in there. This is going to be a huge case. This is not going to go away. Because if they can rip away all those pardons, it opens up criminal investigations like you would never believe. But this is pretty crazy. Now they're saying there's a second auto pen that's been discovered where it looks like they were using this in two separate situations. So you had at least a couple people involved here doing this that were using auto pens to sign stuff out of Biden's administration as he's like incapacitated and like, I don't know. Not even there. We all seen it.
To follow up on the Biden auto pen, are those executive orders, those pardons from the former president now null and void?
There's Trump on the plane.
So. It's not my decision. That'll be up to a court. But I would say that they're null and void because I'm sure Biden didn't have any idea that it was taking place. And somebody was using an auto pen to sign off and to give pardons to, as an example, just one example, but the J6 Unselect Committee. They gave, think of it, they gave pardons with an auto pen. I don't think Biden knew anything about it. And what they did is they deleted and destroyed all of the information that took them over a year to get. And the reason they did that is because the information was very incriminating about them. Like Nancy Pelosi, it was determined conclusively that she knew about 10,000 soldiers and turned it down. And if we used 500 soldiers, you would have had no problem, let alone 10,000. The young lady that said that I grabbed these powerful young Secret Service agents by the neck. Okay? You know that was a big hoax. It was a lie. And she admitted it. And they
deleted it. So they're constantly telling you that they're deleting all this stuff. And he's even telling you right now, Pelosi, all these people that were a part of it, what's up with criminal charges? All this money's missing. All this money's been spent. I hear nothing about criminal charges on none of these elite, so to speak. None of these deep staters, establishment goons. You don't. It's like, what's going on here, man? Yeah, this is right here the aide behind the Biden auto pen kind of scandal. One of the top aides that had the access to it. Her name, scroll down here, Neera Tanden. She apparently took to Twitter in defense of herself, saying that, trying to say, okay, so all of a sudden using an auto pen is no good, and tries to call out Trump and says all these other things have been auto pen, that he uses an auto pen. And yes, it's true that every president uses an auto pen, but for certain situations, as Trump was just saying, like, you're not doing that for pardons or executive orders or anything like that. And his was. So, as Trump just said, he doesn't even think Biden was aware of half the stuff. Yeah, how are they allowed in the first place? It's a good point, Kenny. I don't know. It's ridiculous. It's stupidity. I don't know. It's a good point, but there's so many loopholes in this criminal organization. We should love MC. So look at this. Look at this. What Trump can do, what he's doing. These are rather huge events right here. Okay, we're going to get into some bigger stories here. Past top of the hour, right? President Trump, effective immediately. He strips the Secret Service protection from Ashley and Hunter Biden while they're in South Africa vacationing. So while they're down there with Secret Service, thinking they're set for the rest of their life, he pulls the rug on them. And it's like, nope, like come back home, boys, for the Secret Service guys. They get ordered to come back home. So they either stay there unprotected, vulnerable, or they bounce. I'm going to say they're going to bounce, and they're going to have to reorganize, because every single thing that they do now is going to be different. They're going to have to hire their own private security and pay for it and all that stuff. It's pretty much a game changer. Yeah, it's not on the taxpayer dime anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always thought it was ridiculous. This guy can go out and live. He's a criminal, basically, getting away with all this stuff off a pardon. And you're going to give him Secret Service protection somewhere? Like, give me a break. Like, he didn't deserve none of it. So that's a huge move right there. And look at this. Former Rep. Adam Kinzinger. He urges Trump to prosecute him, to prosecute him, like to come after him. He like taunts him, says, "Bring it on, you weak, tiny man." And it's like, are you stupid? Like, you just got to be stupid, dude.
So I just saw that Trump is like threatening the January 6th committee again. Listen, this dude knows, he knows that this is like the thing that embarrasses him. He won't admit it embarrasses him because he's trying to like pretend like he didn't do anything. He's obsessed. He's more obsessed with like me and Liz Cheney than his freaking golf score. Hey, Trump, bring it on, dude. You weak, whiny, tiny man who, by the way, I saw a picture of you this weekend. You're hiking up your pants now to really just below your man boobs, and you're sweating so much. Like, looking pretty bad there. But bring it, man. Like, stop with all the big mouth talking stuff. You're a grown man. You don't talk like one, but you're a grown man. Come on, dude. Bring it.
He said, bring it. Pause that. He said, bring it. Any predictions? We had a little thing where we take bets here. Or a poll. I probably could do a poll, could I? Start a poll. Does Ken Zinger get hit by Trump? Does Kinzinger get hit by Trump? That's the poll. I've got it up there. Meaning, does he take him down? Take him out? Does he retaliate? Does Trump prosecute him or go after him after putting a taunt out there like this? Do you think that Trump is the type of person, his administration, that would just let someone that is kind of in the political realm openly like taunt him and get away with it? I don't. I think Trump's ego and all that, I think they'll try to make an example out of him. They'll do something, I think, almost like mafia style, like oh yeah, like write his name in a piece of paper and he's done. We'll just keep track of it. Just remember, We will remember this. If anything happening with this Adam Kinzinger happens from here on, we got to remember this point. His car mysteriously goes off the road into a lake. I don't know. Anything crazy. You just got to remember this moment. When you're openly taunting the sitting president that's sitting there like a mafia don boss, I don't know, man. I just feel like not too smart in the end. Let me go over here and look at the poll real quick. Okay, so I'm gonna end it. Ain't gonna be a long one. It was yes, 62%. 61 officially in the end. We'll see. Again, have to keep track of this. Now, Voice of America and the journalist have been placed on leave because Trump dismantled 8 different federal agencies. And he put Carrie Lake ahead of this. A lot of people are upset because they're saying that like people's jobs are just getting wiped out left and right. Like good people, like not bad people or people that had anything to do that were a part of like anything with Biden. Like everyday good people are like getting wiped out now. It's like, look, it's what you voted for. It's what you wanted. Like, or step up and say something. Like, I don't know. I'm seeing more and more people that say, well, I got voted for Trump, saying basically they just lost their job, getting screwed. And it's like, now what? Well, I don't know how far this is going to go. I told you before, this is like huge orchestration, man. So Trump comes out, makes another statement, says that the JFK files are going to be released tomorrow. So tomorrow is going to be JFK Day. You're going to see stuff all over the place about JFK, these new files. He says people have been waiting decades for this. So, like, huge information is about to be dropped that we'll have to, like, tear into. And then by the time the next show comes around, I'll update on everything that we find on Wednesday. We'll play this clip here. Trump making this statement, whether they're blowing smoke or not, this is what they're saying. We'll see if we just get a stack of redacted files or what.
We are tomorrow announcing and giving all of the Kennedy files. So people have been waiting for decades for this, and I've instructed my people that are responsible, lots of different people, put together by Tulsi Gabbard, and that's going to be released tomorrow.
So that's a huge bone to throw the crowd. Like, I start to immediately think, like, you know, what else is going on and all this other stuff. You know, for them to make this move to release all these files, well, it's definitely going to be a distraction. People will be talking about it, a buzz about it. Who knows what it's going to say in it, how many lies, how much truth. I guess we're about to find out, that's for sure. How much was actually redacted. You know, how much connects back to Mossad and alphabet gangs. Because that's the whole reason it's been hidden the whole time. Don't get it twisted. Is that right there. And we'll see. We'll see here. JFK files being served up tomorrow. I think it will be rather interesting just to see what they give the people. Disappointment or not. And I'm telling you, people are going to be all over this. People are going to be picking it apart. There's probably going to be a lot to glean from it. Should be. But we've been through this before. The whole last administration went with this whole thing before. I've lived through this before. It's like Groundhog Day. And he threw a bone to the people. It was nothing. The same crap, same hype. We'll see. Only time will tell, I guess, at this point. I think he's got to come through this time. Oh, and he provides an update on Epstein and other classified files. So this sets the tone. How much stuff is going to come out here? Is Epstein really going to come out? Is this going to be redacted crap again? What about the Blind 11 files?
A lot of intrigue surrounding the release of the Epstein files, Martin Luther King files, John F. Kennedy files. Some current and former FBI...
Oh, yeah. Let me back it up here. And Martin Luther King, I mean, they've got... See, this is planned. This is well-timed and planned for a reason. A bunch of distractions about to come back to back to back. Almost like a soap opera. Keep everybody chewing on bone. Martin Deloach, thank you. Do you what? Well, I didn't understand that fully, but
some current and former FBI agents are saying, some of them telling me, that they feel the FBI establishment came out ahead in the standoff sort of with the New York FBI field office over releasing the records and your Attorney General Pam Bondi demanding them but not getting all that she wanted. Is that process still on track? I think that's one of the most often questions I've been asked the last couple of days, to release these records on Epstein, MLK, and JFK.
Well, Pam Bondi's done a phenomenal job in every respect. And there could have been some holdback. I haven't heard too much about it, but they could. But the bottom line is the records are getting out. The Kennedy records are getting out. Those are the ones I really wanted to see the most, were the Kennedys. And during my administration, as you know, I released a lot of them, but then a lot of people started coming in, people that I respected, people that worked for the administration, asked me not to release the rest. And I respected that. They gave me certain reasons, but I respected that. And I did say, I must tell you, I said that probably wish I did release the whole thing, because I have no idea what's in there. But since then they found, and we found 2,000 more documents on Kennedy. And the one they want most is Kennedy, and it's going to be released. It's moving along, and it's moving along pretty rapidly. It doesn't go that rapidly.
Weeks maybe, or longer?
I say weeks, yeah, I say weeks.
The rollout of all this information is going to be interesting, don't you think? How much, like, if they give you JFK, and it's a big one, and it's decades old. It's like one of the oldest, right? I could see them maybe giving more truth on the JFK thing, because almost everybody's dead, than the newer stories. I could see them maybe throwing the stuff out there with JFK. A lot of information, so to speak, to chew on. And a lot of buzz around. And then maybe Epstein is like a disappointment or something. Again, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to end up ultimately playing that card unless they lie about it. Because it's all, and thank you for the coffee. It all leads back to the same place. And, you know, unless they're going to come out and tell the world openly, like, look, this is who did it. Doubt it. Maybe they're going to be that brazen. Go ahead and tell you who was behind it, and dare if you're even going to try to do anything about it. That'd be pretty nuts. But I don't put it past them. Mossad, all these fools, they're the most craziest of any groups out there on the planet. You know? I'm going to keep this pushing here. Go to the next one. All right. This is something I don't accept neither. I told you, this is an all-star thing. That's how I see it. That's the only way I know how to explain it. Your Cash Patel, like all of them, all the faces are friendly faces. Faces that like likable smiles and they obviously did a lot of grooming here in this whole thing. John, thank you for the coffee. Dan Bongino sworn in as Deputy Director of the FBI. Now look, where's he been at all this time, all these years? Sitting there on a live stream on podcast, talking about, Biden and trying to bash them and this and that. And it seems like some of these characters like he's a reasonable person or something. But like, the whole damn team is in the club, man. And that's what you need to understand. It doesn't matter how much you like one of them or any of that. They all took an oath. They're all part of this club, man. That's why they're getting put in these positions. They played it well. And see, what the reason a lot of these people are getting selected is because they worked up a good base. Right? Thank you, Martin. Dan Bongino's done that. He worked the whole crowd on the Trump train, played that side, played it. They played it. They seated him in there good, just like RFK. He played his role. They seated him in there good, just like Tulsi seated her in there good. I mean, all these characters, they did them the same way. And see, I see it clearly. Anyhow, you're Dan Bongino, love him or hate him, sworn in as deputy director at the FBI. So him and Cash are in there, and like it's nothing but winning, I guess, for the left or for the right, or so to speak, all the Trumpers. I don't trust none of them. I don't trust no feds. And when I stop and I look at it, I see what they've done. They got everybody to fall in love with their feds beforehand. And now they're feds. Yeah, well, I don't know, man. I don't think we have much of a chance. All the trickery and the black magic, there's no real patriot groups out there at this point. The whole Trump thing, like, absorbed them all. There's no real big militia group. There's nothing here that stands out. Nothing. There used to be, a decade or so ago. I know there's groups out there that ride in militia groups, but man, there's nothing like national. There's no big group to even name. Yeah, I know there's some in each state and this and that, but there's nothing, no one making moves, doing it, flexing, and haven't been at all. No huge patriot group. It's like everyone's afraid to assemble. The only place they felt comfortable, I guess, was under Trump. They feel like they can't be prosecuted or persecuted over there. They feel like that's the safest place for them. Sadly. You see? And that leaves no one to fight the fight against the beast. They're standing there basically supporting it. Trickery's wild, man. So, keep it pushing here. I want to point something out here. This reminds me of the Deagle map and the Deagle number, saying where all these people are going to die and all these crazy numbers. Well, this is a forecast of 2,100, and this is for Europe. Crazy, these numbers, man. Like, almost all these places have huge numbers, like, wiped out. Like, Russia, you can see up here. You can can see Italy. They're all in the negatives, in million. Italy's like negative 23 million. Spain, negative like almost 15 million. All these places taking hits, but the two places that stand out big that are taking influx, that retain, are France and the UK. Okay? Remember this. Not even Ireland right next door to the UK does the same, or nothing. Sweden up north seems to be a place, for whatever reason, that a bunch of people flock into from Norway, Finland, and the surrounding areas. They're all these areas, Poland, Germany, all negative. They're all going negative. Ukraine negative, all of them. Belarus negative, all of them negative. Except for France and the UK. I want you to remember that. I want you to remember that. France and the UK. Remember that. Because we're going to come back around to it here in just a second. Far left French MEP demands the return of the Statue of Liberty. Of Apollo. Because the U.S. no longer stands for its values. So literally are brazen enough to come out and say, give us back the statue. The White House spokeswoman had something to say about that.
Something different. There is now a member of the European Parliament from France who does not think the U.S. represents the values of the Statue of Liberty anymore. They want the Statue of Liberty back. So is President Trump going to send the Statue of Liberty back to France?
Absolutely not. And my advice to that unnamed low-level French politician would be to remind them that it's only because of the United States of America that the French are not speaking German right now. So they should be very grateful to our great country. Kelly.
Wow. Now that was pretty bad burn on them right there. But the truth nevertheless, someone thinking for the coffee. Yeah, something big is coming. You got that right. Let me turn that back down. Keep it pushing here. What do we got here? Playing dumb. France and the UK. I just told you about them. The only two places in all Europe that look to see a population. Look who's leading the way. Look at this. France and the UK. They want to drag NATO into war. And this is coming from Medvedev, which is leader out of Russia. Okay, whoever this Starmer character is, man, I guess the Prime Minister of the UK, he's a piece of work. I don't care for him. And I don't think he's representing his people well. I mean, we're all getting played. We all got leadership. It sucks. Look what we had with Biden. But this isn't a good one for the UK as far as I could tell. He's definitely a globalist and all that. And you can see here, he's on the left-leaning side. He's going with Macron in France. And they want to push war. They want to push war, major war. So much so that Macron is saying that they want to stop buying U.S. military weaponry, which is huge. It's a huge shift. The two leaders around the world selling weaponry are Russia and the United States. It's two different brands, two different versions, but that's who supplies the weapons. Russia supplied it to China, supplied them to Iran, and like that whole side. And then the United States has supplied to its allies on that side. That's how it's worked. And they've been kind of two mirrored military machines making all this money off of war. Okay? You want the truth of it? That's it. These two huge corporations, that's what they really are. Controlled by Rothschild both in the banking industry. You know it. So, it looks like there's a big change coming. You could be seeing a division here globally. It really seems like it. Like where the United States may be leaving NATO and like them trying to turn against us. I don't know. Like fully. Like if they want to turn against us, they're going to get smoked. Which isn't good and it's stupid. Like, and why should the people suffer? Why should the freaking people suffer? Because that's all that's really going to end up happening. Like, the leadership is what needs to be taken out. Like, big time. But, there's weapons of mass destruction in there. Yeah, right. I see some staged events coming. Series of events. You better pay attention to, like, the stars, because, like, when certain windows open up, it means war and all this other stuff, and they follow that. Whether you do or you believe it or not, these psychos out there that plan things, they do. And when certain windows open, that means that they attack. And you should pay attention to that. Doesn't mean that you do it or participate in it, but you should know how these people operate. Okay? And with certain things are in retrogrades and things like that, opens up big windows. And look at this. This dude Starmer I told you about for the UK. He says we will accelerate our military support to Ukraine. They don't want to give it up. They want to keep pushing. They basically want war with Russia. And they want people to keep dying. They're even willing to cough up Ukrainian men and women. British people at this point, it seems. Like, they don't care if the United States is backing out or not. Like, they're ready to, like, step it up and keep it going. And it's stupid. They should be talking peace. Russia is actually willing to come to the table and talk peace and stop the fighting, but they're not going to have a ceasefire if it's only for the Ukraine to, like, catch their breath and, like, reorganize and then come back at them. It'd be stupid. So, like, there's no advantage in it for us. Like, you either are coming to the table with a permanent peace plan, or you're faking and it's not going to work. So this is the latest. Trump and Putin are to hold a call tomorrow, on ending the war in Ukraine and dividing up certain assets. So tomorrow's going to be a big news day. He's going to do this. They're releasing the JFK files. A lot of stuff going to be happening tomorrow. That's for sure. So they're gonna talk about, I guess, all of everything about, like, what territories, all this. Once all this gets hashed out, there is all these deals they're wanting to talk about. But the first thing is peace. Like, they've got to get this in the bag and done for real. Because once it's done, it can get done. Huge deals are going to be announced. And I'm interested to see the details of all those. Now look at this. Business leaders are calling for 8 million migrants to replace the dead Ukrainians. This is crazy and a spit in the face of all the people in Ukraine that had their family members killed and slaughtered in this. OBS kicks in and out. Keep it pushing here. Israel in the United States asking Egypt and lots of East Africa to take in Palestinians, to resettle them. Going down to Sudan, Somalia, places that are already in bad shape. Thank you, Gary. Thank you guys for the feedback. So, they're not looking to let these people return at all in their plan here. And Trump tried to backpedal already and say, oh no, we're not meaning to clear it out because it was bad optics, and they got a bunch of blowback on that, actually. He's trying to act like the people can go back there afterwards, after they turn it into a Riviera. But in the meantime, they've got to be resettled somewhere else. And I'm going to tell you now, that's going to be a bold-faced lie. They're just going to say that to get these people to go to these other places, and then it's done. Then they're never going to be able to go back. That's just what it's going to be. You can tell. So let's go to Syria real quick, which is another setup. This has got the West all over it, and it's to Israel in the West's advantage fully. Jolani and all these fighters are rebranded ISIS, if you will, Al Qaeda, and all of them. Western trained and backed is Jolani, and it's fraud. And now they're trying to act like there's some skirmishes between Israel and them in there. But there's not really, because Israel could have wiped them off the map and hit them hard and could have stopped this from ever happening. They strike ports of other places and ammunition from Iran and all this other stuff. Like, why didn't they stop these dudes from getting this far and taking over Israel? How come they never did? It's because they wanted this. And the former Mossad kingpin, he said that they want chaos in Syria. They want destabilization because this gives them an excuse to swoop in and expand, to take more land, a greater Israel region. You know, because they've done, look, what's this? They've then expanded into Lebanon. And what's this? Huge clashes are going down with the Lebanese army on the border. So they're using now Jolani's fighters to go, and Israel was just pounding these people. Okay? Martin, thank you. I got you. Got you. This is a ruse. Now, Turkey is a wild card in this and always has been. Told you this long before. In what they can do in this mix. They don't want, because they're looking at it like, well, if Israel's going to just swoop in and try to snatch up part of this, we're swooping in and getting part. Well, the brand new regime just installed Sharia law. It's the new, and they're executing people, Christians in this country right now. It's sick. And I see more video today. It's the stuff of nightmares. It's garbage that's even happening. Like, no one's speaking on it. No one's stomping them out. If Israel really cared about us and Christians, then why are they not smoking these guys that are doing that? They're not. They're not at all. They're not at all. People need to wake up. See how they're doing Christians, that they're slaughtering them in these other places. And then instilling Sharia law. Doing it all in the name of the religion. You got another thing coming to you. Like, you better realize. Like, there's extremes of things, and there's extremes of things. Like, executing all these people, murdering them for no reason, innocent people just because they're Christian. It's genocide, man. There's nothing else to it, and it's ridiculous. It's murder. It's mass murder, is what it is, and it's happening. Being exterminated right now, and like, no one wants to talk about it. But I'm not going to show this stuff because it's that bad, but I'm going to talk about it because we have to. We have to shed light on it. Somebody has to. You cannot turn a cheek when your fellow Christians, good people, are getting slaughtered. Because if you turn a cheek on that, they're going to be in your backyard at some point. Your backyard. And like, no one's going to be there to save you. I'm just saying. Just saying, man. Let's take a quick look here at the divides here. This is a new map of Syria. Oh. The Sunni Muslims controlling a majority. You can see the Christian populations right here are down to like nothing. Down to nothing. So, getting stomped out in a place that they've been able to live for ever since Christ was here. You're witnessing truly historic stuff happening. And it's extermination. Our people. You see, they use this group to do it and get away with it. And, Israel can't be blamed. The United States can't be blamed. You see how it works? But it's their creation, their baby. So Iran throwing threats out there, and they better watch it. Iran's like the last ones left. Wiped out Gaddafi down in Libya. Assad's done left Syria, and now you've seen now it's getting torn apart, and they're probably going to rip Damascus apart. And that's going to be biblical. The day you wake up and that place is leveled. Iran is like the last one. The last one there, so to speak, in the group of bad guys that they were going after in the Middle East there. You still have China, which is like the big bad boogeyman, the main bad guy at this point, because it looks like things are softening up, with Russia. I'm telling you, if they strike a deal, it's going to be interesting where things go from there. Let me keep it pushing here. We've got the Pentagon striking these Houthis and pounding them. And then they retaliate with attacks on the U.S. aircraft carrier Harry Truman. They hit it with 18 ballistic missiles and a drone. I don't know how this wasn't bigger news, but with everything else going on, they vow to target all U.S. warships in the Red Sea. They're essentially shutting down the shipping lane here, okay, and any travel through it. And they're like, they pull off this attack and hit the Harry Truman. Like, they're lucky they didn't sink it. Like, it's crazy. So now they've got war on all U.S. warships. This is so they're trying to strike these people in this region that are doing this, fighting back. And I think that one of their new characters here, Hegseth, says something about it here.
Can you tell us how it all went down on Saturday?
Well, it all went down because an era of peace through strength is back. Just like in his first term, President Trump had to deal with the weakness of President Obama and get rid of ISIS, and he did it more quickly than anybody else. We're sitting on 4 years of deferred maintenance from Joe Biden, where in particular, when you talk about the Houthis, they were allowed for over 100 times to shoot at U.S. ships, to shoot at commercial shipping. 4 months ago, when we sent a ship through, it was shot at 17 times. Ships haven't been able to go through for over a year without being shot at. Freedom of navigation is basic. It's a core national interest. And President Trump has said, we will restore that, and we will be unrelenting. I want to be very clear. This campaign is about freedom of navigation and restoring deterrence. The minute the Houthis say, we'll stop shooting at your ships, we'll stop shooting at your drones, this campaign will end. But until then, it will be unrelenting. We got the reports last night, Maria. The Houthi capital felt like an earthquake. Dozens and dozens of precision heavy munitions dropping precisely on the targets that we wanted to hit, sending a very clear message. And the message is clear to Iran as well. And the president said it in his truth. Your support of the Houthis needs to end immediately. We will hold you accountable as the sponsor of this proxy. And I echo his statement. We will not be nice about it. This is not the Biden administration. The message is clear. We will come after the Houthis until they stop shooting at our ships, and the Iranians better stay out of it.
And there's so many implications.
Okay, so that just shows you what they're doing here. This Trump administration this time is definitely more militarized and doing more military things than the last one that was like, no wars, this and that. Like, no. Like, he struck and killed Iran's main general. Remember that. And that's why they're so pissed off. And he did that right at the end of his last tenure. Trump did. And that's why they're dangling this whole threat out there of revenge from Iran on Trump and, all this stuff. But, yeah, it's, here, look, here's your Prince of Peace, your Gentile Messiah. He's watching the U.S. military bomb Houthi targets while wearing a golf shirt outfit, a Trump shirt, and a MAGA hat signed by himself. Signed by himself right here, this image. So this is him watching the strikes on these people getting killed that they're hitting. All I can ever think of is just imagine if this is you. Imagine if this was you and your people fighting for the last bastions of freedom for real against the beast, and the leadership is just sitting here watching on the screen, and that are striking you like a video game. Precision, taking these places out. You heard what Hegseth just said. The Houthis area where they're at, their capital area, was rocked like an earthquake. Like they're just pounding it. Like, and I'm sure all kinds of innocent people were killed in it, but they ain't going to say a single word about that. They never do. They're going to say they were enemy targets. I get sick of seeing the slaughtering. It's all the time. Is the Prince of Peace really going to end it? As this one says, getting out of the forever wars. What will it take? Well, it'll take somebody coming along and really ending all these wars. Which, is scary, what it sets the stage for there. But we're there. If they played this card, I wouldn't be shocked. At some point, this is going to go to space wars. I think it's going to largely involve China. China that's already here, that's embedded into all of our infrastructure, into our water, into our telecommunications, into everything that you can think of. This blows my mind. There's not enough focus on this. There's not enough talk of it. No one seems to be talking about the Chinese here. Missouri here recently surprisingly stepped up and said that they were going after the Chinese in their state. Any land, any assets that we're going to seize, which is huge. So it's like if the feds are not going to do something, the states need to. But then how can it even be? How can it even be? How can it even be that the feds are not, that the states have to sit here and be proactive, but then you're watching the feds do nothing? That is as suspicious as I could say it gets. Super suspect. Almost like a setup. And it is, and you know it. There's over 1 million Chinese alone that slipped in, military-age men. 1 million-man army embedded within this country, hidden, and more than likely sitting on all the property that they own all across the country. It's pretty vast. I would like to see more states step up and do the same thing, start seizing anything Chinese and doing it quick. Problem is they're going to make a move at some point. They're going to cripple something somewhere. And it could be tied into this big event. They've got a bad guy sitting there to point the finger at for sure. They can blame China. They could do it. False flag it. Whatever. All you got to do is bring everything down. Freeze everything up. Doesn't really matter who pulls the plug. You could have the same outcome. You could blame whoever. Set up to blame whoever. But I'm telling you now, man, you better... There's one group that's in this country that I would be concerned about personally. It's them. How heavily organized they are. How many are here. They're militarized. They don't believe in what you believe in. And they're here for basically on a mission. All of them, a 1,000,000-man army. That and the silence surrounding it, I swear, has got to be like one of the craziest, creepiest things. Because that would seem to me to be the most dangerous part of this Trojan horse. Those dudes come out the shadows across all types of areas, basically just causing havoc, like hitting the electrical grid, hitting the water areas in all these different cities at the same time. Now, when I mentioned space wars, I'm not saying that like we're gonna fly ships up there and it's like Space Invaders and we're shooting at each other up there, with ships and laser beams. It doesn't technically have to go like that. We already have weapons in space. We have space-based weapons there. It's known. It's a fact. They have laser systems. They have other systems. Russia and the United States both have different types of satellites that will eat other satellites. And they put them in orbit, basically trying to say that they're there to eat the garbage. Old satellites and other metal floating around, they can float up to it, get up next to it, and they can bite into it, they can consume it, basically. Well, that same thing can bite into a working satellite and cripple it. Okay, so it turns into a weapon. Plus, they have the abilities to launch these hypersonics from subspace, right down over top of their targets, straight down, supersonic speeds that no one's proven they can even stop. When Russia dropped the hypersonic missiles that was on video, it was like, again, it looked like lava dripping or something, the way it came down, and it just eradicated everything. In quick succession, like it was just like, you know, like 4, 5, 6 hit, like I don't know, just like liquid lava, like hitting the ground, and just everything was gone. The weapons that they've got, man, this point is crazy. All right, let me go to Serbia. Don't hear about this place much, but they had a massive protest, the largest protest ever. The people getting pissed and taking to the streets. Apparently there were some events where 15 bystanders were killed. And people just ticked off. So when you look at these clips and you see all these people taken to the streets, they're pissed off. It's a huge turnout of people in Serbia. Rising. When it comes to Panama, Venezuela, and Cuba, they were said to all have had blackouts of some sort today. 3 places, all at odds with the Trump regime, get hit by blackouts. Cuba's of the biggest. It's been something reoccurring, but now this one's like huge. And it almost seems like somebody's doing it to them like a weapon. And it's just causing chaos there in a place that was already not in the best shape, doing good. They've been under all this stuff, you know, for the longest time, economic sanctions and all this stuff for the longest time from the U.S., but We also have the apprehension of a couple of ringleaders that actually they've been in custody for a minute, but now they're facing the death penalty. And these are former leaders of the Los Zetas cartel. Now, Los Zetas, they used to dominate large portions of Mexico's northern region, right up to our border. When these two guys, Omar Morales and his brother, when they went down, this opened the door for the Sinaloa and other cartels to come in and shine, and they have. They've taken over. So you've got multiple different cartels down there fighting for power. But now the United States is turning their guns on almost any and all of them. And this is crazy right here. Down in Mexico, they find a place that has cremation ovens, teeth. Can't even, like, they're saying that this place almost looks like a place that people were being taught torture techniques on victims. Just gruesome. Women, children, like everything you could think of. And that's just like, that's beyond, there's no excuse for that right there. You can the torture children and things like that. Like, you know, it's one thing, like, you've got like a soldier there and you're trying to get information out of him or something like that. Get strapped to a chair like you see in the movies and you're like punching him, like, give it up, you know. But like, to take this out on women and children is just beyond. Anyone involved needs, like, to face the ultimate punishment. I can't even go into showing you any of the stuff. It's just, it's that bad. And I'm going to finish up here with, I'm going to play this clip of, we've got Ben Berquam at the border down here, and it shows how they went to chase these guys up on the mountain, and there's literally, so that you guys know, down right at our border, cartels have pockets that are up on mountain ranges, man, that are stationed with guns and all this other stuff. Like, they're taking over high peaks and high mounts, and like, this is why the military and border patrol are all going in and like trying to get all these, they're trying to take over all these key positions. And like, when they're getting there, they're finding out that, like, damn, like, they're in the sights of guns, basically, whether they're shot at or not. And I'm gonna play this clip here.
Definitely going up the hill. So got an opportunity. We saw Border Patrol hauling ass out here. Got up here and they're parked here. They went climbing up the hill, and I figure can't see them anymore. They're up and over the hill, but I figure may as well go join them if I can. What time you got, John?
Seeing the agents are up top there. See them on the left? Yeah. So there's another guy. He's right. See him there? Oh, there. Now he's moving. Except for he didn't look.
So I just got up here at Fresno Mountain. The Border Patrol that were hauling ass out here got word there are armed scouts up on that mountain right there, cartel scouts. Just to show you, Sasabe is right there. The end of the wall is right below me. And as we speak, there are armed scouts up on top of the mountain. Joe Biden quit building the wall. If President Trump had been in office the last 4 years, this wall would have been complete. But it's not now, and the cartels exploit that. They use the fake asylum seekers to push more drugs and traffic more people. And now they're using these openings that Joe Biden left to push the rest of the drugs through. And they're really bad guys. I'm gonna climb up here. Border Patrol's up on top of this rock. I'm gonna climb up here and see out of their way just to try to get you a better shot of these guys out. Roger. So just to give you an update, I am in between Border Patrol Let me go over there so you can get a better shot. There you are. Right there. So Border Patrol's right there. He's watching my 6. The other guy's spotting other guys. I'm up right by the monument. Still in the United States. I got the Border Patrol on that side of the ridge. Mexican guys, they're armed. Looks like long guns, AKs. This is a war. Whether you want to believe it or not, this is a war. For the last 4 years, our government was fighting for the wrong team. It's time to take our country back. I'm going to try to get a shot of these guys so you guys can see it. Here, right up. He's moving? Okay, they say he's moving. Oh yeah, I see him. He's right there. He's right there. Right in the middle of your screen. There he goes. Yeah. If he comes this way, I'll move, guys. So they're right here.
So this is just showing you a little bit of what's going on down at the border. I think it's crucial because these guys are mounted up with guns on these ridges, man. And like you would think that this is like this would be American citizens like protecting this place. Wrong. It's the bad guys. We're in bad shape. And most of America don't care. They're oblivious to this. It won't be till the lights go out or the world comes to a crashing halt that they're going to care about anything. That's the sad thing about it. I'm just letting you know, man. I'm in touch with a lot of different people and have been throughout the years that have worked this border area, from many different states all the way down through there. We've got different people that I know that live down there, stay down there. We have Uncommon that lives down in El Paso that checks in here in one of our mods all the time in the chat. And he's constantly keeping us up to speed with what he sees in his area. It's been crazy stuff. A huge influx of stuff throughout the years. And you've got critical pinch points like where this guy's at right here that don't often get seen, that these guys have been funneling stuff through. And now the military and Border Patrol's got the green light to clamp down. It's a game changer, it really is. It changes the dynamics of everything. World stage or not, this and that. Like before, all these people could just walk right across our border and right into this country, pretty much. Even if they were caught, they were released back into the country. That is the insane thing about it. Now, all of a sudden, it's like enforcement showing up that should have been there the whole time. And like they're finding stuff like this, that the enemy is occupying ranges and ridges with soldiers that have long guns and everything else. This is pretty intense stuff, man. So, and I'll show you this last thing right here. This shows you that something huge is going on. What's this say? Northcom deploys a guided missile destroyer for a southern border mission. So now we've got a guided missile destroyer going down off the coast in the region. Like we are sending big dog equipment and stuff into position down around Mexico. No other way about it. Hexeth said it earlier. They're going to start pounding key positions, and the people better understand that this is a war. That guy just said it on the camera like, this is a war. We're in it. And again, most Americans are not going to realize it until it hits home. And so I feel they get put in the dark or something happens, and then they're forced to realize, what's going on. And that brings me to the close of another show here tonight. check the chat, give some final thoughts here, take us out of here with some music. And I want to thank everyone that joins me for the streams. It's appreciated to the fullest. I look to be back here on Wednesday. We'll have updates on all these files. The files dropped for the Kennedy stuff. Anything else that happens between now and then. So it should be a good one. And packed full of plenty of stuff to cover. So, yeah. Just stay tuned right here. I'll be dropping videos. Anything big goes down, I'll be dropping a video on it right here. So make sure to check my channel every day in the afternoon for any of the breaking events. I want to thank all you guys that spend your time here with us for these live shows. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern. It's appreciated to the fullest. Everybody out there that shares the stream. Everybody that supports the channel. Whether through the super chats, or through coffees, PayPals, or the crypto donations. It's all appreciated to the fullest. But, yeah, we'll take us out of here on some music. Shut it down by 11:11. And I look to be back here. You guys know, if the Lord doesn't return in the coming days, I look to see you guys here next time for Underground World News Live. And thank you, Kendall, to the fullest. Thank you for those coffees. And much love, everyone out there. God bless. Hit me up on Twitter. Follow me over there for breaking stuff as well. Much love to the legendary Eon. Coming through at the end of every single stream all the time. No one else could support. That guy's always there supporting. Eon, legendary. Thank you again, Cash, and everybody out there that has bought coffees, Kendall, all the someones, John. Again, Cash, appreciate it more than you know. Ruth, Johnny, much love to all you guys. I appreciate all the love. I'll see you guys here next time. Stay safe. God bless. Much love.